Good morning, students. This is Bhavani working as a contract lecturer, computer engineering in GPW Medak. Subject data structures through C. Introduction to data structures. Today's topic we will be discussed about the linear data structure. So in the last class we discussed about the linear data structures. In that array, what is an array, stacks, queues and linked list. So once again we will be discuss what is a linear data structure. Linear data structure is nothing but arranging the elements in linear or sequential fashion is called linear data structures. In the linear data structures, it will be allowed the memory in continuous. It allows the memory in the continuous manner. Okay, in that we have the four examples I'm taking: array, stacks and queues, linked list. First, coming to the array. What is an array? Array is nothing but collection of elements. It will be collection of elements in a single data type is called array. How the array will be represented? We have the data type, array name, and it has to be represented with the size. Yeah, subscript it has to be. In the subscript we have to write the index number. That is the size we have to be specified. What is the size of the array we need it. So in the before only it is a static memory allocation. Yeah, before compiling only we will be specifying the memory. So that's why array. In the array how we will be declared, and what is the program we saw it. Yes, and next coming to the stack. Stack is nothing but it is also collection of data items but in an order. Yes, stack is an ordered collection of data items in which insertion and deletion can be done at one end, called top of the stack. In the stack it will be performed two operations, that is an insertion and deletion operation performed from where only in the one way, that is on top of the stack they will be calling. So for this I'm taking the example like plates. Yeah, if we keep the plates only in the one direction, yes, even the bangles in one direction only. Yes, and there is no two-way direction. From the only one end you have to insert or you want to delete. So this operation we will be calling the in push and pop operation. So stack works on the principle, which principle means first in first out. Last in first out operation it will be performed. So which is the last one? It will become first out. First in last out. Which will be go the first, it will become last. Which will go last, it will become first. So that is an LIFO. LIFO. First in, last in first out, first in last out. So based on this principle it will be worked. Okay, what are the operation it will be performed means insertion of element, deletion of the element. So insertion is nothing but called push, deletion is nothing but pop. It has to be removed. Insertion operation is called the push operation, deletion operation is called pop operation. Okay, these are the two operations will be performed on the stack. Next coming to queue. Queue also it will be collect the data items but in two ways. Yes, Queue is also ordered collection of data items in which insertion and deletion of elements can be done from two different ends called front and rear. Insertion elements done from rear end. Deletions of elements can be done from front end. So example queue only, railway ticket, reservation ticket, where we will go. So we will be form the line. So it is based on the which principle means last in last out. Who will become last? They have to be go last. Who will become the first? They have to come out first only. So Leo, last in last out or first in first out. So based on this principle it will be work queue. So this is an example. What are the operations we will be perform? We will perform the insertion and the deletion and display of elements. So these are all will be perform the operation. And coming to the last one, linked list. So linked list is nothing but collection of items. In the linked list also we will be collect the elements. Collection of elements is called node. We have to be called the node. So it contains two parts. In the linked list it contains two parts, whereas the stack queue and array will what we are saying, that is a static memory, whereas the linked list is a dynamic, because at runtime only we can be allocate the memory here. How many parts in the linked list means there are the two parts. One is data and another is an address. The data contain the element, that is a value it will be stored, whereas the address means that we will be using the pointers. Pointer, what is the use of pointer? Pointer will be stored the address of another element in the list. If there is no address, the last element will be stored null value, that is a /0 value. Okay, what is the pointer will be? It will be hold the address of the another element in the list. If there is no next element, it stores the null value. Okay, these are the two parts we will be used in the linked list. So the value will be allocated at the runtime only. It is not the fixed like static, it is a dynamic, you can be changed. Okay, so linked list is a collection of element called as node, which contain two parts. One is a data part, another is an address part, which stores the element, which is a address part, which is a pointer, stores the address of next element in the list. If there is no next element, it stores the null value, that is a /o. Okay, these are the linear data structures. So today's topic we will be discuss about the non-linear data structure. We know that non-linear means which is not arranged in the sequential or the linear fashion of the element is called non-linear data structures, whereas in the linear we have to be follow in it will be arranged the order, that like in sequential in the linear fashion, where there is no need any sequence, it can be the random. So I am taking the example to trees and the graphs. So non-linear data structures, how many types? We have the two types. So non-linear data structure, elements are not arranged in linear fashion. How many linear non-linear data structures are there? Two types, trees and graphs. What is a tree? Tree is a non-linear data structure which represents the relationship between data element in hierarchical model. The tree will be represented in a hierarchical model. Yeah, the top will have the root and next sub branches will be there. How the graph will be there, we will be seen now. Tree can be defined as finite set of data items. So tree also it will be collect the data items. It will have the set of data items are there. Trees is non-linear type of data structures. So trees are which type? That is a non-linear data type in which data items are arranged in sorted sequence. Data items will be arranged in the sorted only. Trees represent in the hierarchical relationship. It will be represent in the hierarchical. One root, some branches will be there, sub branches. Yes, it will be make relationship between various elements. What is a tree? Tree is nothing but set of data items. So tree will become under the non-linear data structures. How the tree will be represented in the hierarchical relationship between various elements. So that is called the tree. So tree is a widely used data structure that emulate hierarchy tree structure with a set of linked nodes. So in the hierarchical manner, how it will be linking, the nodes will be linked. How it will be linked, let me see. Yeah, this is a tree representation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Like any values, it can be the first node 2. The 2 circle will be represent the node. Yeah, root to node, root. The arrow marks called edges. Arrow marks called the edges. The circle 2 in the top position which is there, that is called the root node. And next 7, 5 are the, we will be called the terminals, subnodes. Subnodes. 5, 11 and 4 are the leaves. Leaf, we will be calling the leaf. Even 2 is also leaf. 10, 5, 11 and 4 are the leaves. This is a tree representation. There is a special data item at the top of the array is called root of the tree. Which is a root of the tree? That is in 2. 2 is an root of the tree. The remaining data items called subtree. Which one the subtree? 7, 5, yes, 7, 5, 6, 9. These are all the subtrees. The tree always grows in length towards bottom. Yes, in data structures the tree can be increased, like family, the family can be increased. So where in the, not in the top, in the bottom. So if you want to add any data structures, you can be add. So that's why the tree always grows in the length towards the bottom, not the top, on the bottom, towards bottom in data structures. So there is a tree. Tree is nothing but set of data items. Tree is a non-linear data structures. So how the tree will be represented? Tree will be represented in the hierarchical manner. Hierarchical. Yeah, how the, what is a tree? In the top of the node we will be calling the root of the tree we will be, and here we have the sub branches, sub trees will be there, and the leaves also, edges we have. What is a graph? Graph is a non-linear data structure. So graph is a mathematical non-linear data structures capable of representing many kinds of physical structures. Yeah, graphs, it will have the zigzag, yeah, but there is a relation will be there, even zigzag or the anything, there the relationship will be there. So representing many kinds of physical structures. It has found applications in diverse fields like geography, chemistry, and engineering science. A graph data structures may also associated with each edge some edge value such as a symbolic label or attribute numeric attribute. So graph is an will have the edge values such as symbolic labels or numeric attribute. How will be representation? See, the lines we will be calling the edges, arrow marks. There also we will call the edge only in the tree also, whereas the circles the circle we will call the node. Here we will be called the vertices. The circle we have to be represent the vertices, and the lines we will be called the edges. How many types of graphs we have? Directed graph is a non-directed, connected graph, non-connected graph, simple graph, and multiple graphs. Okay, these are the different types of graphs we having: directed, non-directed, connected, non-connected, simple, and multi graph. These are the types of graphs. Okay, so in the non-linear data structures we discussed about the trees and the graphs. And next topic, what is a data type? We know that what is a data type? Data type is nothing but set of values. Yeah, set of values has to be collected, and that value will be operated. Yeah, operate on the data. So data type is a type of data. Data type is a type storage format that can contain a specific type or the range of values. Yes, it is a data storage format. What it will be? It contains the specific type or a range of values. Data types in C refers to an extensive system used for declaring variables for functions of different types. So the data types, what is the use of data type? We can be declare the variables. Yes, for declaring the variables we will be using the data types. The type of variable determines how much space it occupies in storage and how the bit pattern stored is interrupted. How much space is required for the value for the variable. So how much space can be taken, it will be told by the data type. So a data type is used to identify the type of variable. What is the type of variable? With the help of the data type only we can be identify, that is the int, char, float, double. So which type of variable? With the help of the data type only we can be identify the type of variable when the variable is declared. Identify the type of the return value of the function. Identify the type of parameter expected by the functions. While in the functions we will be used to pass the values, to pass the parameters we will be use the data type only. So which type, with the help of that we can be identify. So in this way data type can be used. Here when the type of variable when the variable is declared, so what type of variable we can be identify. And next when we are returning the value to the function, and at the time we can be identify. And next when we are passing the parameters in the function, so at the time also we can be identify the what is the type of variable. Next, classification of data types. We know that basic data type, basic and derived data types also we having. So the basic data types, the basic data type is also called primary data types. Yeah, they are the arithmetic types, and they are further classified into how many types? Integer type, character type, floating point types. These are the basic data types. And next we have the emulated, basic and emulated. Next one, so they are again arithmetic data types. They are used to define variable that can only assign a certain discrete integer values throughout the program. Emulated, only the integer values can be can be used. Next, type void. Type void is also one type of data type only. It specified void, no value is variable, no value is available. So then at the time we have to use a void. Void is used to return the value. Here there is no value will be available, at that time we have to use a void. And next, derived data type. In derived data type, fourth one, pointers type, array type, structures, unions, and functions. So we will be use this. So how many? They are the 4 basic classifications. First one basic, next one emulated and void type, and next derived type. So in basic data type we will be using the how many types? 3 arithmetic operators we will be using, that is an integer, character type, floating point. Okay, integer type we will be use it, character types, floating point types we will be used. And coming to the emulated, only when we need to use variables that can be assigned integer value throughout the program. So at the time the emulated types will be used. And next we have the void. While using the void, there is no value is available in our program, at the time the void will be used. So the main function of the void only, it will be written the value. Even we will be take the data type int instead of void. So when we use the int, it has to be written the value. If I use a void, there is no return the value. So that's why there is no value is available, at that time you have to declare the void data type. Next, what are the derived data types we are using? Pointer types are there, array types are there, structure types are there, union types are there, and functions. Okay, these are all the derived data types. So how many data types we are having? 4: basic, emulated, void, and derived. So all. So let me see small program I declared based on the data types. So void, okay, hash include stdio.h, and next con.h I declared, and the void. Okay, void is also one type of data type. When I use the void and there is no returning here, okay, and next void main floor bracket I is equals to 10. I am declaring the integer value, I am taking the variable I and I am assigning the value 10. Next I am declaring the float. These are all the basic data types I am taking. Float, f is equals to 12.34. okay, and f is an variable, I am assigning the value 12.34. Next char, that is a variable c, I am assigning the value a. Okay, next double, for the double d 1234.567 for the double. Okay, after point you can be give up to 12 numbers, it will be print. Okay, if you need it, otherwise you can be write only the values what we need it. Next I am trying to print the values, that is an integer value of the d. What is an I we having? 10 has to be print. Float value f, what is an float value? 12.34. next char value percentile c, what is the c value? A, the a has to be print. And format specifiers, c, for every data type we have the different format specifiers. For the int we have to use a percentile d, for the float f, for the char c. If you use the array string, percentile s you have to be use it. For the double, percentile u. Okay, for different data types we have the different format specifiers are there. So based on that you have to be run. For the double value is percentile u. Percentile u is what is the d value? 1234.567. These are the values will be printed. Okay, if I take only the variable only, the value will be printed. Instead of taking the data type, you have to print the values. Where is the value will be storing? The value will be storing in the variable, where the variable will be stored is with the help of the array. With the help of the int will having 2 bytes. The memory location, it will have the space. The variable will have the memory location. For the identifier does not have any memory location. In the last class only we discussed. Yes, for the I it will be occupied the 2 bytes. For the F it will be occupied the 4 bytes. For the char it will be occupied only 1 byte. And next double it will be occupied the 8 bytes. Yeah, so how many bytes it will be allocated for the variable? So the I will be stored in the 2 bytes of the memory location, but we are taking only the 10 1 0 10 value only we are taking, and remaining memory will be lost. To store the 10 and the a value we need the memory. So for that purpose we are using the data type. So data type is a data storage format to store the data storage values. So that's why we are using the data types. So this is a small example: int, float, char, double. Okay, I'm declaring and as well as to print also. Okay, these are the values can be used. So what are the values you can be used? So today's class we discussed that what we discussed about the linear, non-linear data structures, and next data types. Two topics we discussed. So in non-linear data structure, the elements are not arranged in sequential manner. We are calling the non-linear data structures. So in that they have the two types, trace and graphs. So in our syllabus we don't have the graphs, only trees are there. In the next section we will be discussed about the trees. The one chapter is there. So what is a tree? Tree is a finite set of data items. It is an hierarchical model. It is a non-linear data structures. So how the tree will be in the hierarchical model. Where the graphs, we have the graph. So graph will have the edges and we have the vertices. So how we will be measured? That is in geography, chemistry, like we will be measured the graphs. And next data type. Data type is nothing but it is a collection of data values. Yes, it will be stored in the data type, and we have to perform the operation. It will be stored and we will perform to it will be print the values with the help of the data type only we can be do. How many types we having? We have the 4 types are there: basic type, immunitated, void type, and next derived type. Coming to the basic data type, we have the integer, character, and the float types are there. And void type, there is no need to print the value, there is no value is available at that time, you have to use a void. And next coming to the derived data type. In derived data type we have to be send what in derived data types, what are they? Pointers, arrays, structures, unions, functions, function types. So these are all will become under the derived data type. Derived is user defined data types, like that it will be defined. So these are the data types and with the small example. Okay, this is the output you will be get it. I will have the 10, F will be get the 12.5, and the C value A. And next, because in the char, because char it has to be represented with the single code, because the char will be represented with the single code, whereas the string group of characters has to be enclosed with the double codes. This is a char, that's why we have to represent with the single code only. For the output you will be get only direct A only, and double we have the 12.12 1 2 3 4.56. The values will be print. So these are the values you will be get output. Okay, thank you. If you're going to thank you, tomorrow's topic we will be discussed about the that is a data type, abstract data type. Tomorrow we will be discussed about the abstract data type, abstract data type list operations, algorithm analysis, and performance. How the algorithm will be perform the operation and how to perform. Yeah, what are the operations? ADT, that is an abstract data type, and what is the data types are there, and what are the operations, and what are the analysis, algorithm analysis, and algorithm performance. Tomorrow topic we will be discuss. Okay, thank you.